Realities beyond our own have long been dreamed of by theologists and physicists alike. Stories of alien worlds and alternate dimensions captivate the imagination, causing wonder at what could lurk beyond the borders of our known universe. From entrances to magical realms to the gates of hell itself, these are the doorways to places unseen. These are portals. Founded in 1857, the community of Stall, Kansas has decidedly unremarkable history. Supporting a modest population and only basic infrastructure, one could be forgiven for thinking that Stall is merely a liminal area on the way to Topeka. That is, however, until the terrifying legend of its cemetery is uncovered. It was in the November 1974 issue of the student newspaper, the University Daily Kansan, that Stall first started to gain its sinister reputation, with an article claiming that the devil would appear there every year on Halloween and the spring equinox. With the resident, long-abandoned evangelical Emmanuel Church supposedly under his rule, a hidden staircase somewhere on its grounds is said to lead to hell itself. Those attempting to escape back up the steps may take 2 weeks of real-world time to do so, seeming to only take moments from their perspective, assuming they are not outright seized by the devil in the process. Of course, various other supernatural entities reportedly haunt the Stall Cemetery. A vanishing woman in a white dress causes fatal car crashes the night before Halloween, while a tree some say was once used to hang a witch serves as a meeting point for a wicked coven. Interestingly, the said tree has grown to split the tombstone of a couple that died in 1879. Another grave belonging to a boy that died in a crop burning supposedly has the power to send anyone that steps on it to hell. With much of the crumbling church and infamous tree having been demolished, a shadow now looms over Stall Cemetery. However, investigators still report unexplained equipment malfunctions and encounters with restless spirits. If the entrance to hell truly does lie among the graves here, cleansing the area of evil would not be such a simple task. Castles from ages past dot the landscape of Europe, but Huska Castle in the Czech Republic may conceal terrors that overshadow all others. Originally built as a wooden fort in the 9th century, the limestone used to construct its foundation split to create a hole of unknown depth. Stories of sinister happenings around the hole caused the fort to be abandoned until the 13th century, where it would be rebuilt as a proper castle and serve administrative purposes for the region. However, it is clear the Huska Castle's defenses were not intended to face any exterior foe, but instead face inward, seemingly having been built inside out as if to contain a threat. Indeed, its location in swampy land away from water sources, trade routes, or settlements is puzzling. The pit discovered long ago lies under the castle's chapel at its center. It is from this black abyss that locals once claimed evil emanated. Stories told of creatures with bat-like wings crawling from its depths to terrorize the area, killing livestock and villagers, or carrying them back to the hole. Outbreaks of disease, crop failures, and sightings of strange humanoid animal hybrids were also attributed to Huska Castle's pit. Most infamously, condemned criminals lowered into the hole to explore its depths were said to be driven insane, often with their hair turned white and their bodies haggard with age after returning to the surface. It came as no surprise that the castle was rumored to be built over an entrance to hell. Unexplained events continue around the property to this day. A decapitated horse has been seen galloping through the trees. The ghosts of chained prisoners trudge onward while ravenous dogs tear at their flesh. A mysterious woman in white has been known to wander the upper halls of the castle, while voices seem to speak from the walls of the chapel itself. Even more outlandish tales would have the castle transporting individuals through time. In the scorching desert of eastern Yemen, a natural formation conspicuously lies among the sands. An approximate diameter of 30 meters at its mouth, the Well of Barhout runs 112 meters deep through 2 layers of rock. Several waterfalls flow downward into the sinkhole, feeding the strange ecosystem of reptiles and insects that dwell in its darkness. More than just a hole in the ground, the history and mythology surrounding the Well of Barhout have given it another moniker, the Well of Hell. Legends surrounding the well predate the time of the Islamic prophet Muhammad, with the Hadith claiming its waters were poisonous. Over time, the Well of Barhout was attributed as being a place where souls of the damned were sent to exist in a kind of purgatory. Even speaking of it is said to attract bad luck, according to the locals. Among its most insidious tales, the Well of Barhout is thought to be the prison of nefarious jinn. In ages past, a ruler supposedly forced the wicked spirits to carve the well from the very rock to serve as a hiding place for his treasure. They were said to take the head of anyone that ventured into the hole's depths. In another myth, the jinn were imprisoned here after rebelling against God and falling from heaven. With the so-called Well of Hell having only recently been explored to its lowest points, its reputation may be unwarranted. Having formed over millions of years, it has doubtlessly witnessed incredible things over its history. For now, its Stygian abyss lies as an ominous maw on the desert landscape. Situated in northwest Romania, Hoia Baciu Forest is the stuff of fairy tales. Truly ancient, artifacts dating from as far back as 6500 BC have been discovered here. A popular destination for tourists and hikers, its strange sights and missing people have generated countless ghost stories and urban legends. One story tells of a little girl playing by the fields near Hoia Baciu one day. Overcome by curiosity, or perhaps lured, she ventured into the trees until she reached a clearing at the center of the woods. Frantic searches for her by villagers yielded no information as to her fate, and she was eventually written off as lost to the forest. 5 years would pass before the girl emerged from the trees wearing the same clothing. Although she was unharmed, she could not recall any memories from the time of her disappearance. It is the meadow at the center of Hoia Forest, the Hoiana Rotunda, that seems to be the focal point of much of the paranormal phenomena, possibly the site of a spiritual portal. Little in the way of vegetation grows here, despite nominal soil samples, and the trees surrounding the area are warped, growing at odd angles. Some say a shepherd that once led his flock of 200 sheep to this clearing vanished, along with his animals. With such unusual happenings, it stands to reason the spirits that reside in Hoia Baciu would be equally strange. Shadows seen moving among the trees seem to be humanoid in form, possibly seeking to harm travelers. The laughter of children that lost their way here through the years can sometimes be heard on the wind. The entities here have been known to take the form of anything from a black dog to a headless horseman, sometimes attacking unseen to leave visitors with unexplained injuries. Add in a slew of UFO sightings, and it's clear why these woods have become legendary among supernatural enthusiasts. Standing at 14,179 feet, Mount Shasta cuts an impressive figure across the California skyline. Revered by local Native American tribes as the domain of a great spirit, humans have occupied this area for at least 7,000 years. The unexplained events on its snowy peaks and hidden caves have led many to believe the power bestowed upon Mount Shasta may be justified. A British prospector named J.C. Brown explored the caves of the mountain in 1904. Originally sent to find deposits of gold, he reportedly found a cave that led 11 miles deep into Mount Shasta behind a hidden door. It was here he discovered a village containing precious metals, artifacts, and over 24 mummified remains, some of which he claimed were 10 feet tall. It would not be until the 1930s that Brown would tell his story to a man named John Root. Although Root had assembled a team of 80 explorers in Stockton, Brown did not arrive on the day they were scheduled to depart and mysteriously disappeared. What manner of civilization had Brown discovered in Mount Shasta? Legends from the late 19th century claimed an ancient people of the Indian Ocean, known as Lemurians, had fled to the area after their continent had sunk, similar to Atlantis. Belief in Lemurians spawned a number of New Age movements, claiming it was the advanced race that had created the mountains' tunnel networks. One occultist claimed the subterranean city they had built here was known as Telos, complete with jeweled walls and floors carpeted with fur. Lemurians have also been suspected of being related to extraterrestrial beings that are said to visit the mountain. Regardless of whether Mount Shasta is a gateway to a lost civilization, it remains an imposing landmark. Mines haunted by the ghosts of workers that perished in their depths generations ago, the unexplained disappearances of many explorers, as well as sightings of Bigfoot himself, also serve to attract thrill seekers and investigators. It would seem that Mount Shasta appeals to those with varying interests in the world of the paranormal. Across the United States, in rural Vermont, lies another hotbed of the mysterious and sinister. The Bennington Triangle, first dubbed by author Joseph Citro, describes the area centered around Glastonbury Mountain. Strange lights, missing people, and cryptid sightings indicate this area may contain a doorway to a world beyond our own. Of several individuals to venture into the forest during the 1940s, never to be seen again, Paula Weldon may be the most documented. The 18-year-old went for a hike through the woods on December 1st, 1946. Not dressed for the cold season, an elderly couple witnessed her turn a corner on Long Trail, only to be unseen when they turned the same corner. On November 12th of the previous year, a hunter named Mitty Rivers vanished around the same path with a rifle cartridge, the only trace left behind. Exactly 3 years to the day after Paula Weldon vanished, a veteran of the First World War would disappear under incredible circumstances. James Tedford was traveling by bus, reportedly sleeping soundly throughout the journey after visiting friends. Inexplicably, James would disappear from the bus, having never been seen exiting the vehicle, leaving behind his belongings. As with Paula, extensive searches failed to locate any sign of him. The local Abenaki tribe have their own beliefs concerning the Bennington Triangle. To them, Glastonbury Mountain is a place of evil, and they would only venture to its base as a place to bury their dead. The stone of the mountain itself was said to devour trespassers that stood upon it. Additionally, the Bennington Monster, a Bigfoot-type creature supposed to prowl the woods, has been a source of fear for the tribe for centuries. It is worthy to note that the body of a hunter named Carl Herrick was found in 1943 surrounded by large footprints, with injuries consistent with being squeezed by an unknown force. With its many disappearances and unexplained sightings, the Bennington Triangle certainly qualifies as a potential portal to some unknown dimension. The area's history of mining and lumber may explain some of this phenomena, with people possibly falling into forgotten shafts, but the mystery still remains. For now, travelers here are advised to be cautious. Are there worlds beyond our existence? Do unseen realities run parallel to ours? If they do, a portal to one may be in the clothes dryer that seems to eat your socks.